You want to make money? Learn to negotiate. In this video, I want to talk about the book Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss, an ex-FBI hostage negotiator. This is a review, so I want to answer questions you might ultimately ask yourself about this book. So, is it the best book to learn negotiation? Will it work for you? What you learn in this book? How does it work? But first, you need to know what mindset I had put myself in when reading this book and learning about negotiation, because that highly influences my opinion of it. So you need to understand that when learning anything, I'm always looking for multiple reasons to learn that something. If I can't find enough good reasons to learn it, I don't study it. Negotiation, but also sales and communication in general, are all things that will bring you wealth no matter what you decide to do in the future. And here, when saying wealth, I'm talking about your personal life too. I mean, don't you feel like your life would be so much better if you could get things to go your way most of the time? Yes, getting things to go your way when negotiating for real estate or a business deal. But what about getting things to go your way with that girl you like? Or what about being the hero that handles conflict like a freaking boss at work and save the day? It's not just about negotiating your rent or that new car you want to buy or that business deal. It's about getting things to go your way every day. It's about improving your life. So I started reading this book thinking we are social creatures. And at some point, most of what can make you more successful comes down to your relationships and your status. That's how we are as humans. So how learning negotiation with this book works? So first of all, it's going to help you with your negotiation and social skills by making you understand how irrational and predictable people are. It's the very foundation of the FBI's method of Chris Voss's method, the method you learn in this book. Most negotiation books and online courses show you a very rational and cold way of negotiating. Not this book, not the FBI method. Not that this book gets you to be irrational. Not that this book gets you to be irrational. We are talking about one of the most famous hostage negotiator in the world, not Grant Cardone. Come on, of course he shows you how to be more rational when negotiating. You want to be as rational as possible when negotiating. But you have to understand that it's our nature. We can't be 100% perfectly rational. The idea here is that you should expect yourself to be irrational. And you gotta expect the person you're talking to be irrational. That's how true master negotiators operate. Then this book gives you tools. Literally, like what I primarily got from this book is tools. So in every chapter, you will learn about tools and techniques that will be useful in a negotiation. All the tools shown in this book are tested in the field by businessmen and hostage negotiators. Not only do these tools work on their own, so does the entire step-by-step method shown as a whole. Businessmen, real estate agents, gardeners, your mom, everyone can take advantage of this method. They are all psychology-based, and on top of being helpful in negotiation and arguments, they will help you improve your emotional intelligence. Currently, I'm working for a Canadian company that only works with monthly subscriptions for their products. And when someone calls to cancel their subscription, the call is transferred to me. If the client cancels, I'm not paid. If the client stays, I'm paid. That's my job. So every call, every client is a new negotiation. So look, I've tested all the techniques shown in this book. and let me tell you that they work better than anything else I've tried. They work best altogether, but they all work. To me, reading this book felt like, yes, I understood human psychology and negotiation better, but it mostly felt like every chapter was at least one new tool added to my toolbox, and it came with the instructions. Then what's great about it is that the book is filled with the craziest stories of Chris Voss's negotiating with terrorists and businessmen. I mean, if you're reading that book, it's because you want to learn to negotiate. But that doesn't mean it can't be fun. And honestly, that book is really fun. It's exciting. Every chapter starts with a story, and in every story hides a negotiation lesson that Chris Voss is going to teach you. It makes the book lighter and makes everything more easy to memorize. The last thing you want when reading a self-help book is to be bored to death. Not because it's unpleasant, which it is, but because when you are bored to death, you can't focus and you can't memorize a thing. Talking about light, I also wanted to tell you about the way the concepts are all connected. When you first start reading and applying the negotiation techniques to your everyday negotiations, you'll most likely feel overwhelmed. I mean, negotiation is hard. But as you progress into the book, each chapter, each new concept will make the previous one easier to apply. The way this book is built is brilliant. Simple but brilliant, because it is really effective at making you better in negotiation without you having to study like a madman. And that's what this whole thing is all about. So is this book going to work for you? Yep. Real estate agent or just a dude who want to get an edge whenever he can in life, that book's for you. I don't see any type of person who want to learn negotiation that this book wouldn't work for. If you want to do anything with ambition, that book is going to help you sooner or later. So, to state the obvious, yes, I do recommend this book. If I had only seen improvements in my professional life, that would be another story. But the book is simple, accessible, and yet I got so much out of it professionally and personally. And it's no small thing for me, you know. After all, we do learn to make our life better, to get more money, to get healthier, to get bigger, to have greater relationships with women and with your family and friends. We do learn because we don't want to be stuck working 40 hours a week doing a job we hate for pathetically small paychecks, right? And I mean, you gotta know that this book isn't a get-rich-quick scheme, okay? But if you want to have success, negotiation will be of great use. And this book is probably the best book you could start with to learn negotiation. Again, if you want to get it, please use the link in the description. That truly helps us. And if you were looking for an online course on negotiation, take good note that next week I'm reviewing one of Chris Voss's online course on negotiation. Not the one on masterclass.com, the one Chris Voss personally created with his company, the Black Swan Company. So stay tuned, go subscribe, leave a comment if there's anything we can do to help you learn online. Keep growing and learning every day, and I'll see you next week.